by the city's own policy. I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and to tell you the truth, had the city not let these entire neighborhoods run to ruin, had the city not let these entire neighborhoods run to ruin and just disenfranchise people and put them out where they had nowhere to fucking go, there would not have been a squatter community. There would not have been a tent city in a park. But the city created circumstances that demanded that people take shit into their own hands and seize warehoused abandoned buildings, thousands of fucking buildings, not just in Manhattan, but up in the Bronx. There was a big fucking squatter community there. So the city created those circumstances. And then, oh wow, there are all these smelly people there who don't have anywhere to go. What are we gonna do about it? Those people would not have even been in the fucking park, living in the fucking park, had the city provided for the lower classes of the fucking community. Instead of Mayor Kachi famously called the area one big urban cesspool. He created that fucking cesspool by fucking kicking people out onto the street. They didn't know where to fucking go. And so, it was what, July 30th, was it? Yeah, the mini riot, just to make sure that they could actually get away with it. And they gauged the public response to that mini riot, and no one spoke up against it. I mean, people like, Paul DiRienzo and WBAI, they knew that the big one was coming. And the day of the riot, they had coverage from before nightfall until sunrise of shit that was going down in the park. But not anyone really knew. It hit out of the fucking blue. And cops from the entire city came by just to lend their batons and lend their hands and lend their fucking horses. Police copters sailing through the fucking air. And they weren't targeting anarchists. They weren't targeting squatters. They weren't targeting homeless people or a terrorist element in the neighborhood. They saw someone out in the area past midnight. You're guilty. You're guilty. And they knew that what they were doing was fucked up. What they did was, they did what cops usually do when a cop dies. At funerals, police black out their badges as a sign of mourning. During the police riot, they did that to make sure no one could see their badge numbers. And no one could lodge a complaint against them. There were hundreds of claims of police brutality after the riot. But against who? Against the police, because they blacked out their badge. They knew they were going out there to kick some fucking ass. Residents, people who just lived in the area, they're gonna beat the crap out of them. And because their badges were covered up, they could do it with fucking impunity. Now this went on. Around midnight, the real fucking, ass kicking commenced. And till dawn, 2 a.m., 2 minutes. All right. So I gotta just tell you that
she knows everything.
there was a big activist community in this neighborhood before and since. And one of the main things that those people were saying was that the influx of yuppies and well-to-do people in the neighborhood and the fact that the police were basically targeted enforcement, selective enforcement, that give or take 20 years, that this area would be remade into a playground for the fucking rich. And what do we have across the street from the park?
These judges, lawyers, public officials, just because we're going to have an international tribunal, we can get it together, they got to have a surprise coming here. Because, see, under Title 10, which is the Military Code of Justice, Section 333, when these people get tried, they're going to be tried under the laws of this country. They're not going to be tried under international laws. They're going to be tried first under the laws of this country. This is why understanding their rules, their regulations, their job description, when it comes time for a tribunal, we're going to be able to walk in and be able to charge them under their own rules and regulations under that public office, not under their corporation, not under their fictional side, but under that public office that they took and they used to obtain federal funding under and swindle from. And this is where the significance comes in, because like Becky and I have sat here and talked, when you're bringing in a judge, you're bringing in a lawyer, or you're bringing in an attorney, or you're bringing in law enforcement, there is no such thing as them having an attorney to represent them when they're already trained in the law to start with, and they need to answer to the tribunal. And this is something that Becky and I sit here and talked about, is that we don't need a grand jury at this point. What we need is an administrative hearing of a tribunal where they come before the tribunal and they justify their actions sitting on that bench, or they justify their actions misrepresenting the client or prosecuting a defendant when there was no plaintiff in that courtroom, or the fact that the police officer sit here and stopped you without a verified complaint on an affidavit and with a warrant to search. It isn't the fact, well, we need to have a lawyer. No, sir. You're not entitled to a lawyer. You committed a crime. You now justify it, because if you get a lawyer, your lawyer's going to be charged with you. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're looking at if we could get the tribunal to look at from this point, because what...
Hi, I'm Tito. I'd like to introduce
It's really good.
a little style of music called Gentro, the sounds of gentrification.
This is, the first section is an administrative review of their action. They don't need a mouthpiece to sit down and explain their job of what they did or did not do. If they are turned around and found guilty, now this is where a grand jury would come in. The evidence would be put before a grand jury. Now they would be tried for war crimes, and they would be tried for treason. But first is the administrative side to get them out of office, to take them off the bench or take them off the street. That's the first intent of trying to do this to a tribunal.
Can this also be done through an inherent court of equity?
If we can find one that can do the enforcement on this.
What would be that requirement? I know there's a lot of Native American communities that still use inherent courts of equity. Actually all throughout Canada too.
The thing of it is, these court of equities that you're walking into, who is sitting on those benches?
Well, that's where the next part is. Those courts can be spawned. It is part of the common law right to create the courts of equity when there is a corrupt government. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is where right now, until if we can get an international, because right now this is really an international incident.
Correct.
And
it's a global fraud.
Yes. Well, it's just
take it all the way up to that perspective. It's a global fraud.
But if we can come back and you first have to go after a civil action here. You go back to civil.
Really? At the maxims of equity, you're coming with clean hands as an individual, not as a group, to do what? To get an injunctive order to stop them from violating your rights. All you really need is a place to put your whole story out without them denying you the ability to tell your story.
Well, this is the purpose of the administrative side on this, where we walk in, on us walk in, and we bring the claim and let that judge or let that prosecutor or let that police officer justify his action while we lay down their job description of what they broke administratively.
Right.
get them taken off the bench, take them off the street, and then if there is enough evidence here to take them off the street, now this is where the criminal side comes in. This is where the grand jury side comes in. This is where if we can get the international court, or if we set up a court, and at this point, once we show corruption on this side and we show where they have sold us internationally, this is now comes into where an international, another Nuremberg trial needs to be set up on these people for international selling and slavery.
A global fraud, yeah.
But we need to first show them on a civil side of administrative violations, which created the fraud on the international side.
On what the treaty for the subdivision was.
So once we started on that side, it's only going to take about 2 hearings. And the rest of these people are going to start scrambling because once they learn that there's an indictment going on, the rest of these judges and police officers, they're going to be one to either resign, get out of the country, or they're going to do mass suicide. And you know what? That's not our problem.
I think a lot of them are going to turn to these tribunals and start telling the truth, honestly, and hope that we don't go to a point of humiliation with how deep this fraud goes, and begin offering a place where people could go, we have compassion and forgiveness, you have time to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and help us see how this fraud goes at the angles we haven't seen yet. Ultimately, that's what the greatest success out of these tribunals. You get dozens of witness blowers that sit down and say, this is what I did as an agent of this. This is what I did as this. These are the books that I wrote, and this is how I trained people how to keep this fiction going. They're out there, and they're listening to us right now. And they are one step away of beginning the process of saying, you know what, I don't want to see my brothers and sisters in slavery anymore.
Well, the thing of it is, these judges, They knew what they did when they did it, and they made buku money off of us.
Their retirement accounts, oh yeah, we go deep into what their retirement accounts do for every person that they smack the gavel on.
Yeah, and so if one of the things is that they have to forfeit everything. Everything gets forfeited, including their own personal account to pay back everybody that they've embezzled off of. But the thing of it is, forgiveness has a problem here when they put people on death row and people died because of them.
You're absolutely right. And there is a layer for people like say, the post office or the people at particular police officers who want to come forth as whistleblowers. There has to be something that says to those people that we're not going to put everyone in jail, but a whole bunch of you are going to have to really seriously think about what's coming for you.
Well, yeah, and I understand that. There has to be a certain amount of compassion here, but it needs to go on individual basis of the record of what they did.
Rock the condo. Feel the heat coming on. You're a pop star. You'll never be gonna feel the heat. Oh, I will run here and fuck the crowd. Live my life, always be loud. I'm taking the awakening, even before. I tell this tale of a picture man, funny hustle, body for sale. I tell this tale of a picture man, funny hustle, body for sale. No more cars, feminism. No more cars, feminism. No more cars, feminism. No more cars, feminism. Feel the beat coming on. You're a pop star. You'll never be done. I feel this way just to go. I will run here and fuck the crowd. Live my life, always too loud. On tour, let's go, even more.
Skeletons.
Okay, people,
Or
that's
American skeletons. Or American skeletons. Or American skeletons. Or
I hold the position as a private attorney general and a bounty hunter, constitutional bounty hunter. I actually went through Congress. I hold this position. As the bounty hunter side, all I need is international authority to start handcuffing and start dragging them in on my side of the fence. I also
What's international authority?
Yeah, I need the backing on this to start handcuffing and start dragging these people down. To be able to walk into a courtroom, catch a judge on the bench, handcuff him, or tell the sheriff, either you handcuff him or I'm going to, and if I do, I'm handcuffing you to go with him.
As the bounty hunter and attorney general.
Yes.
You can do that.
I can do this.
So my question is, what do you need as the bounty hunter attorney general to accept standing from a court?
I need enforcement. I need to where I can walk in and not be shot.
Literally.
Literally.
Because that is a fact. There are people that have broken arms and broken legs if they don't play ball. Because there are some really corrupt courts out there.
This is right now. My community knows my position. They know I could bring them into an administrative court. They know I could sue them administratively. So they have backed off on me, other than the State Highway Patrol, and he has now learned by me bringing him into the administrative court that the Attorney General threw him to the wolves by saying he's not an employee or an agency of North Carolina, so they just hung him.
Hung him.
They hung him. I can go after him and sue him in his private capacity and clean him.
Or you can offer him to come forward to the Tribunal of Justice and start telling the truth. That's something else as Attorney General you can begin to see as a perspective. And all those other people out there that we can begin saying, hey, Who can we target? We have an attorney general here. We have a court coming. We have this administrative. Let's start putting the plan together.
Because if I had the backing on the bounty hunter side where I could walk in and handcuff without worrying about being shot on this whole thing, see, that's the problem here. We have the ability to come in and do. We just don't have the enforcement to cover our back. And if I had the enforcement, I could walk in and do this in any court case and across this country. They know it. That's what's got D.C. worried about me. This is
Does
why.
that include military tribunal courts?
Yes. If we could run them under that would be the perfect thing, because they're in violation of the Labor Code under General Order 100. They violated the War Powers Act on this thing.
Any four-star general can come up to a private independent prosecutor, private independent attorney general like you, and go, all right, here you go, here's your protection.
That's exactly
the military's feeding it back to the sovereign.
Yes. That's what I need. I need provost marshal. I need the military. If they would back me.
Coast Guard's under the Highway Safety Act. That's what we need.
Well, my brother was sitting there saying the Coast Guard is under the Highway Safety Act. They're part of Homeland Security.
Right.
But the military actually is in charge, because if you stop and think, prior to the Continental Congress, it was our Continental Army and Navy that ran this country.
Right.
Before we got into the political side of this thing.
Right.
So again, it
before
falls
the
back.
French came in.
Yeah. So if we
with the XYZ documents. Yeah.
So if we would have the military, the Army or the Navy, back what we're doing and give me the backing on this, it will only take walking into a couple courts, especially walking into D.C., and I could nail Judge Roberts, Judge Kessler, and Wilkins, and that judge over in the Superior Court with military backing, and pull them off the bench, grab my 3 prosecutors, because I've had 4 federal judges, 3 prosecutors, and 3 public defenders. If I had military backing, I could walk in and snag all of them and bring them up for a tribunal and let them explain why they don't believe the Constitution works in their courtroom and why they don't believe in the rule of law. Let them explain it.
Yeah, and one of the things I would like to add in here, because we have a lot of listeners who won't be as familiar with this, what we have spent the last 3 hours talking about is how we, in these various court cases that we're talking about, have absolutely exposed that the rule of law is no longer operational in our courtrooms today. We are dealing with judges and prosecutors and public defenders who are selling the American people out as war criminals. Plain and simple, we're dealing with the War Powers Act and crimes against the state. And so we're dealing with a lot of real solid evidence that we have of the corruption that we are having to deal with. And as Rod's talking about, this is a case that should have been canceled, should have been dismissed a year ago. They have drug him in, and the expense that he's had to go through, going back to court from all the way from North Carolina to D.C., just almost every month for the last year. And as a result of that, then he has built an absolutely solid case of the violations. of the people who have not paid attention to the due process violations of the Constitution, who don't follow their own statutes and codes. So we're not talking about something that is just little things that we're dealing with. We're talking about real solid evidence that we're having to face, that our courts are not being honorable, that we are not dealing with a situation that we can handle without taking much more stringent steps. And so that's really where we are here. We're really looking at this. We are looking at it with eyes wide open. And we're simply saying, what can we, the people, do? We want to declare peace. We've had enough of this war. We've had enough of having to deal with this. We've got to deal with our own issues within our own sovereign beings. And there comes a time when, as that sovereign being, you just simply have to say, no, enough is enough. Now what am I going to do to be able and willing to take a role and be responsible so that my permission doesn't continue to be for these people to declare perpetual war on the world?
What's new? New York. What old? It got so. What we knew long ago. Let's get new about it. Wake up, look down, look all around you. What we knew no longer know. Let's get real about it. Let's go get lost somewhere where we can say our fear. Let's go get lost somewhere where only love is in the air. What's new, old friend? It's not the end. What we knew no longer know. Let's get new about it. Let's go get lost somewhere where we can shed our fear. Let's go get lost somewhere where only love is in the air. Ago. And so this is a song about just getting along. Remember the bad stuff in the past so we don't repeat it and try to be better in the future. This song is called When the War is Over. And if Phil wants to come up and join us, he's welcome to. One, two, three, four. When the war is over, I'm coming home. When the war is over, I'm coming home to you. When the curtains sleep at night, I dream of better days.
everybody have a nice peaceful day. Thanks for the Bowery Boys. Hey Ron, look first on Facebook.
Let's hear it for the Bowery Boys. These guys kick ass, man. Coming up next is David Peel on the Lower East Side. In case you don't know who David Peel is, if you're too young to remember, he penned some famous ditties as The Pope Smokes Dope and Up Against the Wall, Motherfucker, among other classics. David Peel and Company, please get on stage. David Peel and Company, please get on stage. Listen, Our Lady of Perpetual PMS, also known as Daniela, who's manning a table there with self-produced homemade art, is going to pass around this little tip box. Anything you can donate to help us offset the cost of putting on the show will be greatly appreciated. It's very expensive. It's not just a rock and roll show. It costs a lot of money. So she's going to be passing around this box. Anything you can donate, a couple of coins, a couple of dollars, a couple of blank checks, anything would help. Coming up next is David Peel, followed by Roosevelt Salavi, dressed in the dollar menu. Ronald Corporate McDonald. David Peel and Company, please take the stage.
Who's fucking park? Our fucking park. And we also do, we have Al, who Mayor Bloomer can't stand, but he fought back. And then we have the guy running for on the park bench, we have Joe Barton from Woodstock, New York, with an own cable TV. Okay, so right now, let's go up top and have it.
I'll be right back.
What's the matter? Okay, we're going to begin the show with a national anthem for the Times Square Park riots called Die Yuppie Scum. sale, $10 at War and Anarchy. We're not here for love, we're here to take over. Hey, me a love, and there's no difference. I don't believe in this shit. With this right now? That's right, yeah.
How's it going?
I really give a shit about you fucking guys. Okay, next song now it's called... I'm getting the controversy. Don't ignore me. Say what you want, but don't ignore me. You're doing very well. Okay, song's called... I'd rather have somebody hate me than ignore me. You don't ignore me, listen to it.
You'll get what you want.
Okay, we go. Die, yuppie scum!
Neil's birthday today, everybody.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, David Peel.
Andy.
And Edward X. Young. Happy birthday to you.
Occupy Wall Street. This is part of what we did in Sagani Park. We survived the whole thing. It goes. Occupy Wall The last time occupied wars, a lot of people never were there, but we're doing to them anyway. They know who they are.